Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
God.
I called so many times, not from my cell door. I've been reaching out for my heart and soul. Probably impractical, but that's how we used to do. Hope this clarity comes through. I sincerely do. I sincerely do. I sincerely do. I hope this clarity comes through. Beautiful, especially, ooh, they can't see. Busy pretending, shape shifting, wanna have your feels, but none of the meaning. Do you see you? Do you see you? Do you see you? I do. I do.
I sincerely do. KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to call in right now if you got something to say. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. We are at war, and there's no denying that. How long this will go on, we don't know, but if history is our guide, it can be a while. It could be literally forever. I'm leaning into the music, I'm leaning into the art, I'm leaning into the theater, the painting, the drawing, the reading, because that's what keeps me strong and encouraged. But it doesn't stop us from the reality. We're at war, and the only way this ends is if we, the people, continue to push back, right? It is an election year. So when we look at what happened in Texas with the voter suppression and that Senate race there, who knows what would have happened if the people that we saw crying on social media, the people that we saw complaining on newscasts about how they were not allowed to vote. And I must say, out of all the newscasts and social media posts I've seen about it, I haven't seen not one single white person crying about how they haven't been given the opportunity to vote in Texas, for example. I'm just saying. My point is that we, the people, have to push back. Clearly, this president wants to be a war president. He's mentioned before that maybe we can suspend elections if we're embroiled in war. He may have high hopes for that. He may feel that he'll get that George W. Bush effect where his approval ratings bounce up because people rally behind a war president. We traditionally have. However, this is a different time. This is a time when, for all the mis and disinformation of social media, there's also an element of education that has happened there. And people are less gullible when it comes to just the official story. I think that's also partly attributable to Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement, what we've seen with all of these taped murders of black people, reflecting back on the sacrifice of Rodney King as his anniversary was this week, and just how far we've come in terms of understanding the gap between the propaganda and the reality, the gap between the waraganda, that's not a word, I know, and the reality. But that's where we are right now. It's the I'm a wartime president. Although our current occupant of the White House doesn't do a good job of the wartime president shtick. Because this is the same guy who said he likes people that don't get captured, referencing John McCain, who was a war hero. This is the same guy who has has a Secretary of Defense who speculates about whether or not talking about the people who have already sacrificed their lives in this Iran war is good for the president's image. This is President Captain Commandant Bone Spurs, who dodged the draft himself. So I don't know how well he does with wartime president, but clearly that is what is in the playbook right now. So Think Tank Thursday, here's a question for you. Jerry says, yes, I'm thirsty for some good thinking. And I'm laughing because I know when we had the contest to name Thursday, Jerry was the one who wanted it to be Thirsty Thursday. So now he's thirsty for thinking. That works. But here's a think tank question for our brilliant KBLA delegation. You guys see and notice things that I miss all the time, and I'm grateful for that. We're not talking about groupthink, but we are talking about crowdsourcing knowledge, information, and wisdom. What is the best way to stop this war, right? What is the best way to stop this war? We saw the Senate not willing to stop it. We saw just one Republican siding with Dems, and then John Fetterman deserting the Dems and going over to the Republican side, which was pretty much a vote to give the president a free hand in attacking other nations, kidnapping their sovereign leaders, and bombing them without provocation. Preemptive wars. War because he feels like it. I mean, the liar-in-chief, no, I guess that's the president, the spokesliar, Carolyn Levitt, repeatedly said on yesterday that the reasoning for this attack on Iran was because the president had a feeling based on facts. What does that mean exactly? What's a feeling based on facts, Miles?
Bush.
Yeah. I mean, as a woman, we don't get to say, if I say I'm attacking a whole country or even my husband because I have a feeling, that's considered emotional, right?
I was going to say it's all emotion. It's feeling based on facts. Facts don't need your feelings for it to be a fact or anything, right? Like
a fact is a fact. Where does a feeling come in?
You was in your feelings, what he's saying. I was in my feelings, y'all.
She said it 3 times. A feeling based on facts.
I had a hunch.
I had a hunch that we should go kill 1,000 people in Iran.
I had a bright idea that, I woke up today and I felt like.
Yeah. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I believe in intuition and hunches and feelings. But when you're talking about war, it got to be more than a hunch, homie. That's why we're supposed to have the guardrails in place. You're supposed to go to Congress to get authorization, even though the Senate failed to pass a resolution to rein this dude in. We've had 3 or 4 different stories about why we are bombing Iran, and that war seems to be spreading already. Israel has been spreading their campaign for over a year. And it just, for me, it's scary to have a president who thinks it's a good comm strategy to tell us he had a feeling based on facts.
So distracted right now.
It reminds me of the healthcare. I have a concept of a plan. Is a feeling based on facts like a concept of a plan? So my Think Tank Thursday question is, what is the best way for us, we the people, we the KBLA delegation, we the voters, to end this war before it becomes a forever war? We know that it's likely already cost $1 billion and tick, 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 tick counting, right? Swipe, 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 swipe. And we know that we're supposed to be too broke for universal health care, too broke for college loan forgiveness, too broke for free college for all. even though Israel has those things and we're paying for their weapons. Imagine that. Imagine, your household budget. Just imagine your household budget for a moment. Imagine your husband or wife comes home and says, honey, I know we don't have money to feed the kids. I know we don't have money to pay for our kids' college. I know we don't have money to pay for our children's health care, but I'm just going to go and buy some guns. Imagine your husband and wife says that to you. I know the kids are starving. They haven't been to see the doctor, and we have no plan to pay for their college. But I would like to go and spend all of the money that we have left on a semi-automatic weapon. How would you react to that? That is what America is doing right freaking now. Right now. What do we do about it? That's my Think Tank Thursday question. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. It's a Think Tank Thursday on KBLA. Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions. This is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day. All the women who independent, throw your hands up at me.
This March, we're turning up the volume on the women who changed everything. KBLA Talk 1580 is proud to celebrate Women's History Month, honoring the trailblazers, truth tellers, and game changers who shaped our world, our culture, and our community. From the freedom fighters to the firsts, from the boardroom to the front lines, from the unsung to the unforgettable. All month long, we're celebrating the stories, the voices, and the conversations that remind us that women, Black women, have always led the way. Don't miss a moment. This is our moment. This is our story. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580, Los Angeles' home for the conversations that matter.
I'm your girl, you're my girl, we your girls. Won't you know that we love you?
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait. And don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
It does continue. And my Think Tank Thursday question, I always say this on all the various shows from Street Science to Front Page to First Things First over the years, that I am a peacenik. I believe in peace and everything and all the things that we have to do. I understand no justice, no peace, but when we're talking about international campaigns, especially one we're in now, where really this was Israel's idea, I don't care how much the president denies it. They've been wanting to attack Iran and have been attacking Iran for years. They've been widening their own Middle East campaign. And how can we be in a war with Iran along with the partner Israel, who can do whatever they want? Like, if you're in a war and you are working with allies, don't you have a coordinated joint strategy? I'm not a general, but it seems like it. No, Israel's just doing whatever they want, and it has our name on it and our taxpayer-funded weaponry there. So shouldn't we have some controls over what they do? The answer is we don't. So how do we stop this? There's a lot going on, and maybe if we released all the Epstein files, that would stop this, because a bunch of these folks would be in prison. Could it be that? I don't know. I'd love to hear from you. Molly Bell, City of Compton, good morning.
Reparations in memory of our ancestors. God bless morning to you, Dominique, and to the KBLA listeners. And, I love Miles saying that this is the Do Better Network. And I just want to take an extra minute or two to say a couple of things. I've told you about me losing my joy.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
still haven't gotten it back the way that I should. And I couldn't understand why. And I've been praying, asking the Lord, what is wrong with me? I said, I'm fighting against ICE, and then I got a saying that I got from someone else that says, Molly Bell, you worried about ice, but always remember that ice melts. And so I've kept that I've kept that in my mind. And then the things that were happening with the jobs in America, and how we're losing a lot of our good government jobs. And in the chat room, we were talking about being, firefighters. I'm 79 years old. Most of my partners are up there. Even you have gotten older, because when I met you, you was a young fly girl. You still fly.
Oh, thank you, Molly.
But you've come a long way. And then I liked always when we talk about this being a Do Better network. My concern now was I was still saying, well, we need to get our jobs. And then you talked today about our personnel, and I put in the chat, Elon Musk got that. He got all of our stuff from the very, very beginning. I said, so what are we going to do? And then it came to me that, Dominique, you've talked about TikTok, not really saying the names, and Instagram. And I said, but Dominique has already given us an answer. She has taught us through African focus that there's a whole new world out there. There is a whole new world where we haven't traveled. I remember the first time I went to Africa with our other radio station, and been there twice, been to Jamaica once. And I'm just saying, what are we going to do with what Trump and all these people are trying to do? Well, because of African focus, and we wasn't even talking about it as an escape plan, and this is just me philosophizing, we need to look at other countries. Can we really go and live there? Can we go back home? Can we go and see what we need to see? Can we do what we need to do? So I'm just saying that right now, African Focus has helped us. Miles has told us that this is if we do better, and we can do better. And then you told us about, I haven't got on TikTok and Instagram the way that you have, and how you mixed us together. They said, I heard you on the radio. I said, I wasn't on the radio with Dominique, but they said they heard it on TikTok or Instagram. I said, I never called in on there, but some kind of way, Dominique, you hooked us up where you could hear us on all those networks at the same time. So I'm just saying that I feel my joy coming back.
Yay.
In the midst of all of this, and to African Focus, who gave me an award a couple of years ago, I thank you for keeping that going. You have taught us that there's a brand new world out there. You have traveled. You introduce and you interview the people when they go. I don't know what gave you that idea, and you could tell me. I'm gonna hang up in a minute. And what gave you that idea to do that, to take us there on a regular basis? I don't know who told you to hook up TikTok, Instagram, and our Facebook right now, but you have been someone that we've been waiting for. You are someone, Tavis Smiley is someone that we've been waiting for. And one of my heroes, his best saying was, keep hope alive. And tomorrow, this station is going to broadcast that. I'm just saying that it's a brand new world, and I want to listen to what our Miles told me to turn everything down because I had it up too loud while I was trying to listen to others. So I'm just saying that our reparation, maybe it's not going to be just some cash. Maybe you have given us our reparation now. And so everybody in the chat room, all you prayer warriors out there, you know what you've got to do. You've got to keep fasting. You've got to keep praying. Get your joy back. Don't be afraid, because God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind, because the struggle continues in all ways. To God be the glory. Thank you, Dominique.
Thank you, Molly Bell. And let's all, if you got a moment right now, let's heed the call of Molly Bell and do a little praying. And let's pray her joy all the way back, right? Your joy is starting to come back. We want to make sure that seed takes hold and your joy comes all the way back, because certainly, Molly Bell, you deserve it. Thank you for all of the work that you've done in the reparations movement, the anti-racist movement, the movement against state-sanctioned violence. Molly Bell has done more probably in 1 year of her life than many of us will do in our entire lives when it comes to fighting for liberation for Black people. So I pray that your joy returns in all its glory. Molly Bell has always been one of the more joyful people I know. I wanted to note that the Do Better Network is actually Miles's own enterprise, his own podcast empire. Is that a fair assessment, Miles?
Empire,
podcast empire, whatever it is. That's your own business. It's not a nickname for KBLA.
Right, but at the same time, it was with the intent of being something that could be a mantra or a motto as well. Similar to somehow like a Black Lives Matter would be, or something like that. So yeah, I have no problem with it being your mantra as well, y'all, because the goal and the aim is to elevate people to do better. So yeah, go ahead and adopt it. It's my IP, but go ahead and adopt it.
I mean, I thought it came from the saying, if you know better, you can do better.
If you knew better, you do better. But who better to make you better? A better you. That's the answer.
He's about to start spitting in a moment. Yeah, so that's the Do Better Network. But you have your own content and stuff that if Molly Bell wants to go look it up, right?
Everything's on YouTube at the Do Better Network. It features my music, music videos, behind the scenes footage, podcasting, PSAs, AI work, everything. Yep, Do Better Network on all platforms.
Okay. So let's go to Big Phil calling us from Los Angeles. Hi, Big Phil.
Good morning, devil. Don't sleep. Let me tell you something, Dominique. I came to the service with Jesse Jackson. We go way back. I've been in a couple of marches with him in St. Louis, Missouri, with Dick Gregory. Y'all know hometown league with the World Hawk. We're going way back now. Make a long story short, let me tell you something. You was gorgeous. You just look gorgeous. You look like gold. Your hands are selling gold. You look gorgeous. Dominique.
Oh, thank you.
Let me see another thing, too. Don't let these people worry you about call in about 2 5 all that stuff. Your talk show, just no stress in your life. You know the old saying, stick to stone, make break my bones. So I got to run, but I love you guys. Stay safe and keep doing what you're doing. No stress. I'm out. Big Phil.
Thank you, Big Phil. It's much appreciated. Yep, the No Stress Express over here, as much as we can be given what's going down. Jerry from Beverly Hills, it's all you.
Hello.
Hi, Jerry. How you feeling today?
Right. I'm curious.
Okay, Jerry. You know what? Let's talk off the air. I'm having more trouble than I typically do understanding what you're saying today. You know, we know the KBLA delegation knows that Jerry from Beverly Hills sometimes struggles with his communication a little bit because he is battling Parkinson's. And it sounded like something about Syria, but I want to make sure I'm clear on what it is that you are asking, so that we can address it. The question, the Think Tank Thursday question, concerns how do we stop this war in Iran? It feels like a forever war. It feels like it has the potential to spread throughout the Middle East. It's already starting to happen. Seems like, and I'm not talking about a feeling based on facts, I'm talking about what I'm seeing unfold before our eyes. It seems like it could be a path towards World War III, but we, the people, have the power. How do we flex that power? How do we stop this in its tracks? News, traffic, and sports, then more on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. A black dad who lost his son in a drunk driving crash is calling on Maryland lawmakers to stiffen penalties for offenders. Under the bill called Jamari's Law, John Duckett told NBC in Washington the maximum would be doubled to 20 years.
It's not a law to send people away for life. It's just a law to get more justice for the family that lost their kids.
Prosecutors say Duckett's 18-year-old son, Jamari Duckett, was killed by a drunk driver in 2022 after serving a prior sentence for only 3 years. Meanwhile, the DOJ is expected to extend plea deals to a dozen defendants in the mob-linked poker case also involving NBA players. And several dozen international companies are in Atlanta, Georgia this week to make final World Cup preparations. Critical logistics have been a focus for the 39-day tournament this summer. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O Tires, for a limited time, get a free tire when you buy 3. That's right, buy 3, get 1 free. Valid on select tires with installation purchase. And synthetic oil changes start at only $39.99. Find your nearest store at BigOTires.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers won their third straight game. They beat the Indiana Pacers Wednesday night 130-107 at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. 29 points and 8 rebounds for Kawhi Leonard. Darius Garland had 12 points and 8 assists off the bench. It was Garland's first home game for the Clippers since the February 5th trade that brought him to L.A. in exchange for James Harden. Garland had been sidelined for a month with a foot injury. The Lakers are at Denver tonight. The Lakers also have a 3-game winning streak. The Big Ten Conference Women's Basketball Tournament tips off today in Indianapolis. UCLA, the number 2 team in the country, is the number 1 seed in the tournament. The Bruins' first game is Friday at noon local time. They will meet the winner of today's game at noon between USC and Washington. All games in the tournament will be broadcast live on the Big Ten Network. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
I believe that we will go from guttermost to uttermost. I believe that we will go from slave ship to championship. I believe that we will go from outhouse to state house to courthouse to White House. I believe.
He served alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He ran for president. He kept hope alive for millions of fellow citizens. This Friday, March 6th, KBLA Talk 1580 will carry the homegoing services of the Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. live from Chicago, beginning at 8 a.m. Pacific. Join us as we say farewell to a giant, a preacher, a warrior, a man who never stopped fighting for justice. The homegoing service of Reverend Jesse Jackson, This Friday, live starting at 8 a.m. Pacific, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hold your head high. Stick your chest out. It gets dark sometimes, but the morning comes. Don't you surrender. You hold on and hold out. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with the world. African Focus Incorporated is a community-based organization whose mission is to bring Africans and African Americans together, lead charitable initiatives on the motherland, and educate people from all walks of life on the beauty, legacy, and opportunity of Africa's 54 nations. And it's that time once again when African Focus is teaming up with KBLA Talk 1580 for our 8th annual African Focus Trailblazers Tour. Travel with us in 2026 when we're headed to the southern African nations of Zambia and Botswana for a historical, cultural, and vacation tour led by me, Dominique DePrima, Cultural Ambassador for African Focus Incorporated. Enjoy luxurious accommodations, conscious fellow travelers, shopping, adventures, cultural tours, wildlife safaris, and a giant waterfall, one of the world's 7 wonders, along with a chance to be of service at an orphanage on the continent. Become an AFI trailblazer by exploring the motherland with a nonprofit organization that has members in Africa and America to help roll out the red carpet for you, and together we'll make a difference and have fun doing it. For more information, visit africanfocus.org or call 310-676-7300. That's 310-676-7300 or africanfocus.org. Whether it's stateside or exploring the diaspora, we're with you every step of the way. African Focus and KBLA Talk 1580. Come go with us.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Indeed, it does. Looking forward to the conversation next hour. We're talking tech with Paris McCoy of Tech Lamert. There are so many intersections here between war and AI, war and technology, surveillance and ICE, and where we are with all of these things has big technological implications, some of which I get, some of which I don't, and which we will strive to understand more completely and thoroughly. Right now, my think tank question for today is, how do we the people, I believe we're the only ones that have the ability to stop the more scary aspects of our current governing administration, what I call the new Confederate white supremacist MAGA regime. And they're endless, flooding the zone with crazy ideas and propositions and rules and moves, and now a whole new war, at least in part meant to distract from the Epstein files. But it's not just the Epstein file. I mean, as if that wasn't important. Of course it's important. It's actually really insanely creepy, even trying to process that. Now we're trying to process a war. But there's also the matter of the social safety net, right? Food stamps and Medi-Cal and Medicaid, and the threats of the privatization or cuts to Medicare, Social Security, all of this stuff happening slickly while we're over here worrying about how all of our money is being invested in war. Money we don't even have, not just our wars, but other people's wars, in this case Israel's wars, but also all of these things distracting us from the basics, which is food, housing, clothing, education, and health care for the people who pay the taxes. We, the people. Let's go to Ron from Richmond. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, Dominique. How you been?
I'm blessed. What's on your mind this morning?
Oh, man, a whole lot. This is my first official call for this year. I haven't talked to y'all in a minute.
Happy 2026. Wait, happy Women's History Month. You already skipped Black History Month and New Year's.
Oh yeah, I missed all that. Yep, I didn't forget about you though. I've been tuning in, watching you here on YouTube. So yeah, we always got you on here in the Bay.
Appreciate
Want to say
you.
rest in peace to Reverend Jesse Jackson, man. That when I first heard that news, that kind of hit me a little bit, man. And I heard his son talking to Wolf Blitzer on CNN on that day that he had passed away, and he was crying a little bit. So that kind of, just kind of got to me a little bit, thinking about my own dad. So yeah, Jesse Jackson, he was special. Yeah, Jesse Jackson, he was a special person. I never got a chance to meet him in person like that, but yeah, he made his mark. So he definitely will be missed.
Yeah, absolutely.
The broadcasting I'm sorry. You can go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Are y'all live streaming the service on tomorrow? Did I hear that correct?
That is correct. Yes. It will start.
Okay.
I think it starts at 8. So if it starts on time, we'll preempt the last hour of this show. If it doesn't, we'll talk until it starts, and we'll reflect on what's happening. It's certainly it's like the passing of a president, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I'll definitely be tuned into that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Trump with this war. This is crazy right now.
Yeah, crazy, expensive, terrible, and unprovoked. Iran has been a threat for decades. Why now?
Exactly.
What changed?
Exactly. Well, I don't want to hold. I'm sure there's a lot more folks out there want to get through and holler at you, but always fun talking to you. I'm always tuned in. Big shout out to Miles, and yeah, I'll keep putting it down. Keep doing your thing.
I'm surprised you didn't show that Bay Area love for Delroy Lindo and who was it that was on the stage? The two Bay Area. Oh, Ryan Coogler. When Ryan Coogler said, Ryan Coogler talking about town business on the NAACP awards stage, and just bringing up Oakland, I thought that was very. It was adorable, just to see that Bay Area pride, and he going to just throw out some Oakland love in the middle of the NAACP awards. I didn't realize Delroy Lindo lived in the Bay for many, many years. I knew Ryan Coogler was from Oakland because everyone says he has an accent. And to me, it sounds like an East Bay accent all day long.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. Yeah, I didn't know Delroy lived in the Bay. Is he from the Bay?
Well, he's not from the Bay, but I think he's been living there since the 90s or something.
Oh, okay.
So it was just a really cute moment at the NAACP awards. A little bit of Oakland love. You'll probably go look it up on YouTube. You'll get a laugh out of that, Ron.
YouTube, okay, most def. Yeah, I had to go peep that out.
Yeah, or it's all over IG, because Delroy looked at him. He couldn't believe that Ryan Coogler was going to go all the way Oakland in the middle of the NAACP awards. That was golden, and I really enjoyed the NAACP awards, and I enjoyed watching Michael B. Jordan grab that actor award and best ensemble. It's all good. It makes it much more exciting to see what's going to happen at the Oscars next week. But stay healthy, be good, or at least have fun if you're not going to be good, Ron.
Yeah, I'm going to try to. Y'all do the same. Thank you for taking my call.
All right, and thank you for calling. Ron called me at 800-920-1580, and you can do the same. Look who's on my phone. It's Fred from L.A. Good morning.
Hello, Dominique. It's Fred from Los Angeles. Now I want to respond to the L.A. Black Workers Union Center lady. And I believe she's a little bit older than what she sounds like. And
no, actually, she's not. She's a millennial.
How old is she?
I don't know her exact age. She's a millennial. That means she's under 40.
Okay, well, anyway.
Under 35? Under 40, I think, yeah, if she's a millennial.
International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 18, skilled positions such as welder, electrician, proctor. We'll go to DEI, affirmative action, and repeat thing. I think this is just another thing. You know, I'm 73. I've been through the whole. I was in the labor market for 45 years. 30.
Okay,
31 with
let
the
me
Los Angeles Department.
slow down for
Go
one
ahead.
second, Fred. Why are you asking Ariel Moore's age on the air? I don't understand the reference.
I heard her once before and wanted to respond, but there were more important things. I thought she said she was older. I thought she said she was in her 50s.
No, not even close. No way. No way. I don't even know she's in her 30s, but she's definitely not in her 50s. Why does that matter,
I heard her
though?
before.
Why does it matter?
Well, this is a brand new generation now that we have an affirmative action, DEI, and now her thing. She wants her people to get into open up the city charter.
By her people, we mean black people. By her people, we mean black people.
The LA Black Workers Center.
Which
I
is
wrote that down.
black workers.
Her.
Yeah, black people. That's who they advocate for. Is that a problem, Fred? Do we not want black people to have good city jobs?
I want them to follow in my footsteps. But we have to have qualified people. We don't want people into.
That's a red herring. Don't even waste my airspace with that BS, because we know we have to be qualified. They don't give unqualified black people jobs. That's a myth. We are overqualified and still can't get hired. Look at Kamala Harris.
What about her?
She's way more qualified to be. She's way more qualified to be president than either Trump or Biden. Well, maybe not Biden. He was senator for 300 years. No. We're talking about qualifications. Qualifications means your experience and your education.
But with the labor market, you have to have experience to get into the skilled positions.
Experience and education. Well, she just laid it out. A pathway program, which brings people in on paid internships into entry-level jobs that prepare them for those positions, which, by the way, is what most people do. They learn on their job. No, most people do not come into their job and don't need any training. That's a myth.
Now we're getting somewhere. Now, for the skilled positions, we want people that's already experienced. In my case, I'm in the construction and trucking industry, and when I'm higher up, I want to steal Walmart's drivers and everybody else.
Why do you say IBEW Local 18 has DEI? In my experience, some of these
it does not have DEI.
And what is DEI, Fred?
Diversity.
I don't mean what does it stand for. I mean, what do you think it is? Because the way you talk about it, it sounds like you think it's something different than what it actually is.
Yeah, I think it's the fire chief that got fired from Los Angeles and the GM, the general manager that just I reassigned going to Puerto Rico yesterday or the day before. That's what I think DEI is.
Well, but explain what you mean by that, because what you sound like right now is a racist misogynist. So what I need to know is why are they DEI? What is about them is DEI? They're DEI because they're women? They're DEI because they're black? Like what makes a thing DEI to you?
Okay. Well, the fire chief, she was the head of the paramedics. She had no skill at being over the fire department, and the DWP general manager. Now that's my line of work. She came from up north. Now she had education and all of that, but she had no practical work in the field.
She actually did have experience in the field, and she had education. So what you're saying, your words don't match your rhetoric. I mean, your justifications don't match your rhetoric. Most people like you, Republicans who appear to be misogynistic, think that by being a woman or by being black or Latino, that automatically means it's DEI. DEI means they outreach to a diverse group of people so that everyone who was qualified would have a chance to apply. That's what DEI programs do. They widen the recruitment net so that everyone who is qualified gets a chance to be considered. It doesn't give jobs to people who aren't qualified. It doesn't create positions that are set aside for certain others. No, in fact, that is not true. That is illegal under Proposition 209. That would be affirmative action. We don't have that in the state of California. We only have that in your talking point.
The head of the paramedics charged with being the head of the fire department.
First of all, that's an assumption, because who fired? You're talking about Kristen Crowley, right?
Right.
Who was fired by Mayor Bass, right?
Right.
And you're assuming that because she's a woman. I mean, obviously, for me, I would have fired her much earlier because of insubordination and the fact that she was busy going on CNN while she needed to be working for the city. But Kristen Crowley was appointed by Mayor Garcetti, not Mayor Bass. So let's make sure when we're pointing our finger and making little unfounded talking point accusations that were at least accurate, Fred. We could continue this conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Attention community leaders, are you ready to strengthen your impact in the community? For more than 25 years, Community Development Services has helped nonprofits build strong communities by empowering community leaders and emerging professionals with the support they need to create lasting change. Starting a nonprofit or need a fiscal sponsor? Need expert nonprofit accounting services? Want nonprofit financial management training for your staff? Are you a college accounting student seeking an internship opportunity? Call 424-289-4330 or visit communitydevelopmentservicesinc.org. Community Development Services, providing support, improving communities. Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs. What if your rooftop could earn you money every year? With LADWP's Solar Rooftops program, you can get solar panels installed and maintained on your home at no cost and earn up to $900 a year. That's up to $18,000 over 20 years. There are no upfront costs, no credit checks, and no annual fees. Plus, you'll help power Los Angeles with clean local solar energy and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Make your rooftop work for you. Apply today at ladwp.com/solar rooftops.
Injured in an accident? Insurance not paying what you deserve? The Law Office of Hamlin will get you paid. Call 424-266-9175. That's 424-266-9175. The Law Office of Hamlin, your legal vibe for the culture.
They say time flies when you're having fun. The founding members cohort of the Art of Conversation is almost over. Hard to believe. It's been a joy sharing what I've discovered after nearly 40 years of conversations with presidents, cultural icons, and game changers in every field of human endeavor. If you missed the first cohort, the good news is that we're already planning the next one. Now, the seats will be limited, and those on our waiting list will receive exclusive early access and special discounts not available to the general public. So, if you are ready to transform the way you connect, lead, and build trust, do not hesitate. Go to TavishTalks.com and join the waiting list today. That's TavishTalks.com. The next cohort is coming. Make sure you are in the room. I'm Tavish Smiley, and I hope to see you there.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The midterm elections are upon us. It is voting season once again. Common Cause's motto is fighting for the democracy we deserve. In service of that goal, Common Cause puts its state and national policy expertise, massive network of grassroots supporters, and nonpartisan approach into action to strengthen our democracy against the challenges we face today. They work at every level of government on priorities that impact each of our lives, like defending the right to vote, limiting big money's influence on our elections, holding public officials accountable, and more. Common Cause is a nonpartisan grassroots organization dedicated to upholding the core values of American democracy. They seek to empower all people to make their voices heard in the political process. This election may be the most important one ever. If you'd like to make a donation or volunteer in service to the Constitution, please visit commoncause.org. That's commoncause.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
Yeah, it is true that Fred calls and he kind of changes the vibe. That's what Jacqueline Anderson was saying in the chat. Fred changes the flow every time he calls with his Republican talking points. But I like to set the record straight because it also reminds us what the talking points are. So he's talking about Janice Quiñones, who was over the LA DWP since 2024. She has stepped down and she's going to go work on rebuilding the power grid in Puerto Rico. She's Puerto Rican. But to say that she was DEI, what does that mean? She had 25 years experience as a senior executive. She's an engineer. I interviewed this woman. She came from the DWP from PG&E, which is another huge utility company. She was a senior vice president of gas engineering and senior vice president of electric operations. Clearly, she was qualified for the job. Now, people were angry with her. She received a lot of criticism. I know the right-wing trolls went after her. Some of them even used clips from my show. Because a DWP reservoir that should have been full was empty, or that seems like it should have been full, let me put it that way, was empty over in the Palisades because some of those fire hydrants did not have water. Now, my understanding and further analysis is that because so much water was being pumped out, in part by people like, Rick Caruso, who had private firefighters sucking up the water to save their properties, there may not have been enough water pressure left for regular private homeowners. Another show for another day. But for him to say that Ms. Quiñones was strictly a DEI hire and that she didn't have qualifications is an LIE, or as they say in Puerto Rico, mentira, which means lie, okay? She was qualified. Whether she did a good job or not, well, that's up for debate. A DEI hire, maybe only in the sense that they were outreaching to women. Now, do I want to be defending Kristen Crowley? Probably not. As I said, I would have fired her the minute she went on CNN and started running her mouth instead of worrying about how to make sure that fire was all the way out. The mayor eventually did fire her. She was hired by the last mayor, and ironically was nominated by then Council President Nuri Martinez, who, as we know, resigned in disgrace after her illegal and seemingly racist comments became unveiled. Okay, but whether you're like me and you think she should have been fired even faster than she was, or you're like Fred, to say that she's unqualified and she was strictly a DEI hire is not accurate. She had 25 years with the fire department, okay? She was the acting administrative operations chief deputy. She was the fire marshal, and she had a long track record with the fire department. Do I know every detail of her tenure? No, I do not. But if you look at her resume, she appears to be qualified. She moved up through the ranks of the fire department. She was the first female fire marshal, the second woman to earn the rank of chief deputy within the department. So it's not like they got some lady that was, she's a woman, doesn't know anything about the fire department. Let's get her over here. No. She was with that department for more than 2 decades. Okay? So now, to me, the questions that arose were questions of character and judgment. Do we throw the mayor under the bus and run around and do a press tour while our city is burning? No, we don't do that. To me, that no resume can show you bad decision making like that. But once it has been shown, you need to be out of there. And I know she's, suing the city and all this other stuff. But I still will defend against Fred's ridiculous point that somehow these are DEI hires. These are women who are highly qualified for their jobs. Was Ms. Quinones partly influenced by the endless barrage of criticism and her desire to get away from perhaps the consequences of having an empty reservoir and the terrible outcome that we had in the Palisades? Possibly. I don't have any proof of that, but I think anyone would consider that if that was the state of their job. I'm sure the attacks by Elon Musk and others didn't help either. Possibly. But to say she wasn't qualified for the job when she was appointed to the job is just wrong. And that's why I say you seem like a misogynist. He didn't stay on the phone, so I'm sure he'll call again another day. But we are talking tech next segment. But not just tech as in the latest update for your phone, but how tech, whether it's AI or other technology, is now part of every aspect of our lives, including this geopolitical outlook and what we need to know about it. If you have questions or contributions to the conversation, 800-920-1580 is the way in. I'm Dominique DePrima for KBLA. Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Esther Dillard with BIN News Now. A black dad who lost his son in a drunk driving crash is calling on Maryland lawmakers to stiffen penalties for offenders. Under the bill called Jamari's Law, John Duckett told NBC in Washington the maximum would be doubled to 20 years.
It's not a law to send people away for life. It's just a law to get more justice for the family that lost their kids.
Prosecutors say Duckett's 18-year-old son, Jamari Duckett, was killed by a drunk driver in 2022 after serving a prior sentence for only 3 years. Meanwhile, the DOJ is expected to extend plea deals to a dozen defendants in the mob-linked poker case also involving NBA players. And several dozen international companies are in Atlanta, Georgia this week to make final World Cup preparations. Critical logistics have been a focus for the 39-day tournament this summer. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Now at Big O Tires, for a limited time, get a free tire when you buy 3. That's right, buy 3, get 1 free. Valid on select tires with installation purchase. And synthetic oil changes start at only $39.99. Find your nearest store at BigOTires.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers won their